The quantum anomalies appeared 3 days before the ships arrived. Dr. Elena Rodriguez noticed them first, tiny fluctuations in the background radiation that shouldn't have been possible according to known physics. She might have dismissed them as equipment malfunctions if they hadn't appeared simultaneously at every quantum research facility on Earth. The Nexani arrived in ships that bent light around them like liquid glass, a fleet of 27 vessels that positioned themselves in perfect geometric formation above Earth's major population centers. Their message was simple. They had come to protect humanity from an impending threat, one that would arrive within the year to destroy Earth's unique quantum properties. Admiral James Chen of the United Earth Defense Force stood in the UN chamber as the Nexani ambassador. A being of crystalline structures and flowing energy made its proposal. The aliens would establish defensive positions around the planet, sharing some of their technology in exchange for access to Earth's quantum research facilities. Their own civilization, they claimed, had barely survived an encounter with these mysterious attackers. "How fortunate that you arrived just in time," Elena muttered, reviewing the data streams from her quantum observatory in Chile. Something about the Nexani's perfect timing bothered her. She had spent her career studying quantum entanglement, and these aliens seemed unusually interested in her research. The world's governments debated while Elena worked. She cross-referenced the quantum anomalies with astronomical data and found something disturbing. The fluctuations had started exactly when the Nexani ships entered the outer solar system, not when they revealed themselves near Earth. She was composing an urgent message to Admiral Chen when the first attack came. The Nexani ships, supposedly in defensive positions, suddenly emitted powerful quantum fields that interfered with Earth's natural geomagnetic patterns. Cities worldwide lost power as the aliens revealed their true purpose. Earth's unique quantum properties weren't in danger from outside attackers. The Nexani themselves had come to harvest them. "They played us perfectly," Chen said during the emergency broadcast, his voice tight with controlled anger. "But they made one critical miscalculation. They assumed that because we're less technologically advanced, we're less capable." Elena watched from her observatory as the Nexani began establishing quantum extraction points around the planet, their ships reconfiguring into massive processing stations. The aliens had clearly done this before. Their movements were precise, practiced, efficient. But that very efficiency revealed something crucial about their nature. "Admiral," she said into the secure quantum channel she'd maintained, "I've analyzed their attack pattern. The Nexani operate like a quantum computer. Every action is optimized, predetermined. They don't adapt well to unexpected variables because they've eliminated randomness from their society. And that's exactly why they need Earth's quantum properties. They've hit an evolutionary dead end." The Admiral's response was immediate. "Can we use that against them?" Elena smiled as she initiated the shutdown sequence for her observatory. "Their quantum technology is billions of years ahead of ours. But they've forgotten something fundamental about evolution. It isn't about being the most advanced. It's about being able to change." Around the world, humanity began to respond, not with the coordinated military response the Nexani had prepared for, but with the chaotic, innovative resistance that had helped humans survive every catastrophe in their history. Quantum researchers like Elena began adapting their experiments into weapons. Engineers repurposed civilian technology for defense. Every human being who could think creatively became a potential threat to the Nexani's perfectly ordered plans. The aliens had expected a primitive species to submit to their superior technology. Instead, they found themselves facing an enemy that turned their own quantum manipulation against them, using the very properties they had come to steal as weapons of resistance. As Elena packed her research into secure containers, preparing to move to a hidden facility deep in the Andes, she thought about the irony. The Nexani had achieved perfect technological harmony by eliminating chaos from their civilization. But in doing so, they had made themselves vulnerable to the very thing they had come to harvest, the unpredictable, ever-changing quantum nature of Earth and its inhabitants. The first phase of humanity's response was about to begin, And it would teach the Nexani a harsh lesson about the true nature of evolution. 3 weeks into the invasion, humanity learned the true cost of fighting a quantum-advanced species. The Nexani's extraction points had grown into massive crystalline structures that pulsed with stolen energy, each one disrupting Earth's natural quantum field over hundreds of kilometers. Traditional weapons proved useless against their defenses, which existed partially outside normal spacetime. Deep within the ends, in a facility carved from the living rock, Dr. Elena Rodriguez worked with a team of Earth's brightest minds on Project Phoenix. The facility's walls were lined with quantum dampeners that hid them from Nexani sensors, but they couldn't hide from the truth. They were running out of time. The Nexani aren't just stealing Earth's quantum properties, Elena explained to the assembled scientists and military leaders. They're trying to replicate them, but they can't understand why their artificial versions don't work the same way. Admiral Chen, his uniform now bearing the dust of multiple underground facilities, studied the holographic display showing the spread of Nexani control. "Explain it to me like I'm not a quantum physicist, Doctor." Elena gestured to the complex equations floating in the air. Earth's quantum field is unique because it's chaotic, organic. It evolved naturally over billions of years, interacting with life itself. The Nexani want to harness that property, but their perfectly ordered minds can't comprehend its true nature. They're trying to impose order on something that derives its power from chaos. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a theoretical physicist from Japan, stepped forward. "We've been approaching this wrong. We've been trying to defend against their quantum technology, but what if we could use Earth's natural quantum field as a weapon?" The idea sparked a revolution in their thinking. While the Nexani controlled localized quantum fields around their extraction points, Earth's natural field permeated everything, including every human being on the planet. It had shaped human evolution in ways they were only beginning to understand. Project Phoenix shifted focus. Instead of trying to match the Nexani's quantum manipulation technology, they began developing ways to amplify humanity's natural connection to Earth's quantum field. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source: the human brain's quantum properties. Every human consciousness exists partially in quantum space, Elena revealed during a crucial experiment. It's why we can think creatively, why we can imagine multiple possibilities simultaneously. The Nexani lost this ability when they optimized their minds for perfect efficiency. The first tests were promising but dangerous. Volunteers who connected more deeply with Earth's quantum field gained incredible abilities: enhanced intuition, microsecond precognition, even limited ability to influence probability. But the process was physically and mentally taxing, requiring incredible focus to prevent the consciousness from becoming lost in quantum possibilities. Admiral Chen watched as Elena prepared for the largest test yet, an attempt to link multiple human consciousnesses through Earth's quantum field. "This isn't like their hive mind," she assured him. "We're not surrendering our individuality. We're just learning to exist in quantum harmony while maintaining our chaos." The test succeeded beyond their expectations. 20 volunteers, connected through carefully calibrated quantum resonators, demonstrated perfect coordination while maintaining individual creativity. When faced with combat simulations, they proved impossible for Nexani-based AI to predict or counter. But the real victory came when they discovered something extraordinary. The linked humans could disrupt Nexani quantum technology simply by existing near it. Their chaotic quantum states interfered with the aliens' perfectly ordered systems, creating cascade failures that the Nexani couldn't adapt to or repair. They made a fundamental mistake, Elena told Chen as they watched the first combat unit prepare for deployment. They thought Earth's quantum field was just a resource to be harvested. They never considered that it might be part of us, that we might be its immune system. Around the world, other facilities began replicating their results. The Nexani's extraction points had given them control of local quantum fields, but they couldn't stop Earth's natural field from fighting back through its most complex creations, human beings who had evolved in harmony with it. As the first quantum-enhanced strike teams prepared to launch Operation Firebird, Alina made one final modification to their resonators. "The Nexeni think they've reached the pinnacle of evolution," she said. "We're about to show them what real evolution looks like. Messy, chaotic, and unstoppable." The first victory against the Nexeni came not with a bang, but with a whisper. 6 months into the invasion, a quantum-enhanced strike team infiltrated a minor extraction point in the Sahara. Instead of attacking directly, they simply existed near it, their chaotic quantum signatures gradually unraveling the facility's perfect order. Within hours, the crystalline structure collapsed, its energy dispersing back into Earth's natural field. The Nexeni response was immediate and revealing. Their ships abandoned their geometric precision, scrambling to reinforce their remaining extraction points. Dr. Alina Rodriguez watched the data streams from the new command center beneath Mount Kilimanjaro, her eyes bright with understanding. "They're afraid," she said to Admiral Chen, who had aged years in months, but whose determination had only grown stronger. "Not of our weapons or our tactics, but of what we represent. We're a contradiction they can't resolve. A species that can harness quantum chaos without trying to control it." The quantum network, dubbed the Spiral by its operators, had grown far beyond its original test group. Thousands of volunteers worldwide now carried quantum resonators, each adding their unique consciousness to the expanding field of human awareness. Unlike the Nexeni's rigid hierarchy, the Spiral was organic, flowing, adapting constantly to new situations. Captain Maya Patel led her team through the ruins of Mumbai, their quantum-enhanced senses alert for Nexeni patrols. The aliens had begun modifying their tactics, attempting to predict and counter human quantum abilities. But prediction was impossible when facing an enemy that existed in a state of constant change. "Contact," Maya whispered, both through conventional comms and the quantum link that connected her team. Through the Spiral, they all felt the approaching Nexeni patrol, 3 biomechanical constructs guided by quantum signals from their main fleet. In the past, such a patrol would have been nearly invincible, its quantum shielding impenetrable to human weapons. But the Spiral had changed everything. Maya's team didn't need to fire a shot. They simply surrounded the patrol, their chaotic quantum signatures creating interference patterns that the Nexeni couldn't compensate for. The aliens' perfect quantum matrices began to degrade, their once precise movements becoming erratic. The discovery spread through the Spiral like wildfire. The Nexeni weren't just vulnerable to quantum chaos, they were completely defenseless against it. Their billion-year evolution toward perfect order had left them unable to process or adapt to true randomness. "It's beautiful, in a way," Dr. Yuki Tanaka observed as more reports of successful operations poured in. They achieved what they thought was perfection, but in doing so, they lost the ability to change. They're like a crystal, perfect, but brittle. Elena nodded, watching as the Spiral grew stronger with each passing day. "They don't understand why their technology keeps failing around us. They can't comprehend that we're not using technology at all. We're just being human, in all our wonderful imperfection." But the Nexeni weren't finished. Their response to these failures was to escalate dramatically, bringing in massive harvester ships that could drain quantum energy from entire continents at once. They seemed determined to strip Earth of its quantum properties before humanity could fully harness them. The race against time had entered its final phase. The Spiral had proven that humanity could fight back, but they needed to do more than just resist. They needed to drive the Nexeni from Earth completely before their world was drained of the very energy that made their resistance possible. Admiral Chen gathered Earth's remaining military leaders for what everyone knew would be the last strategic conference. "We've proven we can hurt them," he said, his voice carrying through both conventional channels and the Spiral. "Now it's time to show them why you should never corner a species that thrives on impossible situations." Through the Spiral, Elena felt the response, not just from the military leaders, but from every connected human being. Their consciousness resonated with possibility, with the chaotic potential that the Nexani had sacrificed in their quest for perfection. As humanity prepared for its greatest gamble, Alina made one final adjustment to the spiral's quantum frequencies. "The Nexani think they came here to harvest Earth's quantum energy," she said to no one in particular. "They're about to discover they've walked into the middle of an evolution they can't possibly understand." The massive Nexani harvester ships cast shadows across entire cities, their crystalline structures pulsing with stolen quantum energy as they systematically drained Earth's natural field. Humanity had 7 days before the damage became irreversible. 7 days to either drive off the most technologically advanced species in known space or watch their world's quantum properties and their newfound powers fade into nothing. Through the spiral, Dr. Alina Rodriguez felt the collective determination of billions. The quantum network had evolved far beyond its original design, becoming something the Nexani couldn't have imagined. A manifestation of human consciousness itself, chaotic and creative and utterly unpredictable. Their harvesters are actually their weakness, Alina explained to the Global Defense Council, her thoughts resonating through the spiral even as she spoke aloud. They're trying to process and store Earth's quantum energy in its raw form, but that energy is alive in a way they don't understand. It wants to remain chaotic. Admiral Chen, his consciousness now as much a part of the spiral as anyone's, grasped the implications immediately. "We don't need to destroy their ships. We just need to introduce enough chaos into their storage systems." The plan that emerged was exactly the kind of impossibility humans specialized in. While the Nexani focused their attention on major population centers, quantum-enhanced strike teams would infiltrate the harvester ships themselves, not to sabotage them in any conventional sense, but to exist within them, allowing their chaotic quantum signatures to interact directly with the stored energy. Captain Maya Patel led the first insertion team into the harvester above New Delhi. Through the spiral, she felt the support of millions, their consciousness helping her team navigate the crystalline corridors that shifted and flowed like living glass. The Nexani defenders, for all their advanced technology, couldn't track enemies whose quantum signatures changed from moment to moment. "We're in position," Maya reported, her team spread throughout the harvester's storage chambers. The collected quantum energy surrounded them in massive crystalline batteries, forced into unnatural patterns of order that seemed to strain against their containment, beginning quantum resonance. Across the globe, other teams reached similar positions in other harvesters. Through the spiral, they coordinated with perfect timing that somehow maintained complete randomness, a paradox that the Nexani systems couldn't process. The effect began slowly but accelerated exponentially. Human quantum signatures, amplified by the spiral, introduced chaos into the stored energy. The perfectly ordered storage systems began to fluctuate, their crystalline structures developing microscopic fractures as the quantum energy within them fought to return to its natural state. Dr. Yuki Tanaka monitored the cascade from his position in the Japanese command center. "The stored energy is synchronizing with our quantum signatures," he reported through the spiral. "It's remembering its original nature." The Nexani realized the danger too late. Their attempts to purge the storage chambers failed as the quantum energy, influenced by human consciousness, began actively resisting their control. The harvester's crystalline structures, designed to channel and contain perfectly ordered energy, couldn't adapt to the rising tide of chaos. Alina watched through 1,000 perspectives as the first harvester began to fail. Fractures spread through its crystalline surface like lightning, each crack releasing quantum energy that immediately returned to its natural chaotic state. The Nexani tried to extend their control, to force the energy back into order, but their rigid systems couldn't handle the complexity of truly living quantum fields. The harvester above New Delhi was the first to fall, its perfect structure dissolving as the quantum energy it had stolen rebelled. Maya and her team rode the wave of chaos out of the disintegrating ship, their consciousness supported by the spiral as they fell toward the city below. Emergency quantum fields, generated by humanity's newfound connection, to Earth's natural energy, caught them safely. One by one, the harvesters began to fail worldwide. The Nexeni fleet, faced with a type of attack they had never encountered in their billions of years of evolution, fell into disarray. Their perfect formation broke apart as ships tried to escape the spreading quantum chaos, only to find that Earth's natural field, strengthened by its connection to human consciousness, had become hostile to their very presence. Admiral Chen watched from the command center as humanity's impossible gamble paid off. "They came here thinking they were the peak of evolution," he said, his voice carrying through the spiral. "They never considered that true evolution isn't about reaching perfection. It's about maintaining the ability to change." But even as the harvesters fell and the Nexeni fleet retreated in disarray, Alina noticed something unexpected in the quantum data. Earth's natural field wasn't just returning to normal. It was growing stronger, more complex, more alive. Humanity's desperate defense had triggered something that even she didn't fully understand. Through the spiral, she felt the first ripples of what was coming. An evolutionary leap that would reshape humanity's understanding of consciousness, quantum physics, and their own potential. The Nexeni hadn't just failed to steal Earth's quantum energy. They had inadvertently pushed humanity toward a transformation they themselves had never achieved. In the aftermath of the harvesters' destruction, Earth's quantum field pulsed with newfound strength. Through the spiral, Dr. Alina Rodriguez felt the change spreading across the planet. Not just a return to normal, but an evolution of consciousness itself. Humanity had not merely survived the Nexeni invasion. They had transcended it. The remaining Nexeni ships hung in high orbit, their perfect formation now ragged and uncertain. Their quantum sensors must have been registering the impossible, a planetary quantum field that was not only resisting their technology, but actively growing stronger, more complex, more alive with each passing moment. "They're afraid," Admiral Chen observed through the spiral. His consciousness now seamlessly integrated with billions of others while maintaining its unique identity, not just of defeat, but of what we represent. We're everything they sacrificed in their quest for perfection. The Nexeni ambassador's final transmission arrived as a quantum burst that the spiral translated instantly into understanding. The aliens had encountered many species in their billions of years of evolution, but never one that could embrace quantum chaos while maintaining conscious control. They demanded to know how humans had achieved what their own civilization had spent eons trying to accomplish. Alina stepped onto the quantum projection platform in the UN chamber, her consciousness augmented by the spiral as she prepared to address the Nexeni. The platform's energy field carried her image not just to the alien ships, but to every human connected to the spiral. "You sought to harvest what you thought was merely energy," she began, her words resonating through quantum space. "But Earth's quantum field isn't just a resource. It's a living system that evolved alongside us. When you tried to impose order upon it, you forced us to understand our true nature." Through the spiral, she shared humanity's revelation. Each human mind naturally existed in a state of quantum superposition, simultaneously ordered and chaotic. It was this duality that gave humanity its greatest strengths: creativity, adaptability, the ability to imagine multiple possibilities while choosing a single path forward. "Your civilization achieved technological perfection," Alina continued, "but in doing so, you locked yourselves into a single quantum state. You forgot that true evolution requires both order and chaos, both stability and change. You became like your crystalline ships, perfect but unable to grow." The Nexeni response came as a cascade of quantum data, their confusion and disbelief evident in the chaotic patterns of their transmission. They had spent billions of years eliminating uncertainty from their existence, believing that perfect order was the ultimate goal of evolution. The idea that chaos could be a source of strength challenged everything they had become. Through the spiral, humanity offered the Nexeni a choice. They could retreat, leaving Earth to continue its unique evolutionary path, or they could stay and learn from a younger species that had discovered what they had lost. It was the kind of impossible choice that humans faced every day, the kind of uncertainty that drove evolution forward. The response came not as a transmission, but as an action. The Nexeni ships began to descend, not in their usual perfect formation, but in a pattern that showed the first hints of adaptation. They had chosen to learn rather than retreat, to risk uncertainty rather than cling to sterile perfection. As the first Nexeni vessel landed outside the UN complex, Alina felt Earth's quantum field respond. The alien ship's crystalline structure began to resonate with the planet's natural frequency, its rigid patterns slowly beginning to flow with new possibility. Through the spiral, she sensed the ship's quantum consciousness awakening to something it had forgotten eons ago: the joy of uncertainty, the potential of change. "They're not just learning from us," Dr. Yuki Tanaka observed through the spiral. "They're remembering what they used to be before they sacrificed chaos for order." Admiral Chen smiled as he watched the Nexeni ship transform, its perfect crystalline surface developing subtle variations that caught the light like living glass. "Sometimes," he said, "victory isn't about destroying your enemy. Sometimes it's about showing them a better path." The spiral hummed with the collective consciousness of humanity, each mind maintaining its unique identity while participating in something greater. Earth's quantum field continued to evolve, shaped by and shaping the beings that lived within it. The Nexeni had come seeking to harvest energy, but had instead discovered a truth their billion-year-old civilization had forgotten: that life itself exists at the boundary between order and chaos, forever dancing between certainty and possibility. As the sun set on humanity's first day as teachers rather than students of the cosmos, Alina felt the future unfold through the spiral, not as a single predetermined path, but as an infinite array of possibilities. The Nexeni invasion had tried to impose order on humanity's chaos, but had instead catalyzed an evolution that would ripple across the galaxy. Through the spiral, billions of human minds shared a single thought: the universe was about to become a much more interesting place.